we're going to go back and fly back up Government Street and come back the other way to Westfield, which is meant to be more beautiful and useful. We're going to fly out. We're hoping.
Firstly, thanks so much for coming, and thanks so much to John and Sally for agreeing to host this event. My name is Andrew and I'm the chairman of the Colne Valley Group. I farm the station in Woodoaks Farm. This is the second event we've done, so some of you may want to think the first one we did at Mansfield Farm, led by David Jones, who's here today as well. And it was set up by local farmers and stakeholders. The vision is to achieve a vibrant and sustainable rural economy, including farming, forestry, and underpinning the value of the countryside. Linked between local people and the countryside that's on their doorstep, and also tourism and day visits. Today we're going to have a quick short walk around the farm, which I'll hand you over to Dave and Sally in a minute. We're going to talk about a few issues that we think are important to this farm, and then we'll come back here, have a barbecue, and have a chat as we're going around. But as we're going around, ask as many questions as you like. It's more of our information to get to you, and vice versa. You can query us. So I'll now hand over to Sally and John to do a little bit about the farm.
We won't go very far, but it's a bad time of year to look at a farm in September. There's nothing growing particularly, and one hasn't even started sowing the next year's crops, so they can't come up. We might as well go and take about half of you to see the milking, which is underway at the moment, and then I'll let the other half go in, and then we can take a bit of a stroll around the buildings. There again, you'll notice that the word vintage applies to most of our equipment. Well, it's a polite description of some of it. I won't say any more. When we go around, I can explain what we do. I will say, while you're all here, we milk cows, we breed our own replacement cows, and so we've got cattle of all ages growing up. We also grow wheat and barley, about 250 acres of cereals, and we make our own silage, hay, and then the rest of the grass is sort of permanent grass which is used for grazing, and that's about it really. But we don't grow we don't grow a lot of the exotic crops that are grown by some of the more adventurous people, what we call a bit traditional. Right, well, let's get some of you in at the milking.
I built this with the feeders on the top side of the wall. It's my one luxury. Get through there.
He's putting some finished cleaning, disinfectant. There'll be some bin conditioners as well. So different disinfectant forms of bin. There might also be some
Very good. Well, that's a donkey.
Yeah.
The donkey's over there.
As if it doesn't like standing in the...
I had a donkey.
Hello there.
It has to be on an eminence. Somebody did that.
A donkey. A goat.
And if one needs the others, everybody shrieks. And the goat is becoming very amenable to being tickled behind the horns. Do you want?
So you might have to share, but this is taken from a couple of extracts from the Colne Valley Park Historic Landscape Characterisation. That was a project we undertook across the whole of the Colne Valley with English Heritage a few years ago. Look at the maps on the first few pages. You can see on the page 26 a very broad depiction of the present day landscape, characterised by its use, and you can see it's quite, a sort of multi-use landscape, and you could say a fragmented landscape when looking at something in this bigger scale. If you flip over the page, you can see exactly the same area, the Colne Valley Park, in the 1950s, and the thing you immediately notice is that a lot more enclosed land, which basically means a lot more fields and farmland. Then take it back to the 1820s, which is on the third page. Flip straight back to the first page, and it's quite a contrast, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can see, the amount of farmland is seriously reduced. But having said that, we are lucky to have quite a lot of high quality farmland still left in the Colne Valley area. A lot of it in smaller family run farms. You can, as a local farmer say, well, my costs are higher, there's fly tipping, trespass I've got to deal with, insurance costs for being in the urban fringe. But what we're trying to do in the Rural Development Forum is focus on the positives as well. And, the big farming is recognised as very important to the Colne Valley Park, and the Colne Valley Community Interest Company adopted the aims of the Rural Development Forum, particularly that create a vibrant and sustainable rural economy as one of its 6 objectives for the Colne Valley, giving it equal weighting alongside biodiversity and recreation and conserving the countryside. And it's farmers that maintain the countryside, the traditional English countryside that people talk about, the hedgerows, the small fields, the woodlands. It's farmers that maintain that. It's farmers that chase off fly tippers or people looking to illegally occupy land, because it's farmers that are making, it's their livelihood, they're making money out of that. And if farming isn't economically viable, then we lose a lot more than just the local food production. Field shapes have changed because some hedgerows have come out, and there's this great big thing called the M25 that now cuts the farm in half. But we do still have fantastic things like the Black Barn. A colleague of mine has been working with Sally and John to develop an application to bring in some lottery funding for this 16th century barn to, first of all stop the thing falling down, but also to turn it into an access hub to the local countryside.
We have painters, the Historical Society come here for AGM. There's just walking in general. We feel we could get a centre that people could come in out of bad weather or come in to meet to do the various activities. We've got a local drama and singing group, which in the past we've had things like barn dances. So for music, entertainment, that sort of thing, it could be an ideal small venue. And the interest of people around and hope that this would happen, it comes from a lot of different directions.
A lot of tiles came off about 8 to 10 years ago, and we had the roof redone. It's even felted, which is not the sort of thing they did in those original days, but anyway, the foundations have gone over that side in a rather serious way, and it's going to be jacked up, and repairs, and then the whole thing has got to be reclad. Its capacity would be quite inadequate now.
So we're going through stage 1 at the moment. If that is successful, we'll then receive funding from the lottery that will enable us to develop and plan and research the project in a bit more detail. So funding for structural advice and other things like that, so we can develop a project plan. There'll be funding to develop an education pack, working with local head teachers who have already expressed quite a lot of interest in this. And then following on from that, the stage 2 application will come in, and that will be the capital funding to undertake the improvements. To get a sense of the timescale, you know, we still might be anything up to a year off anything happening on the ground. But you know, we have to be realistic about this process. That's like you know, the ancient hedgerows. There's a patch of chalk grassland just on the other side of the hill that will be included in part of the project.
I did want to show you this. I was talking about the ornithologists that come, but this barn owl is now resident. Tom seems to think that he's actually in the grain there, but this is just the other side of the barn, and this is him quartering this particular field here. But I saw him that close. He's perfectly confident. So this is magnificent.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So has he come on his own accord, or?
Yes, oh yes. Which I think is super, isn't it? Absolutely great. So there's so many different interest groups that enjoy the barn if we can ever get it habitable.
Yeah.
As time's gone by, farming has become less and less a profitable job, and it is a fact nowadays that without the single farm payment, which I'm sure most of you have heard about, which is a PEC payment, farmers would actually lose money. The other thing which they can do is diversify, and I think there are, you either fall into the category of wanting to diversify or having to diversify, and sadly most farmers come into the latter of those two things, that they have to diversify if they want to keep farming. We've just heard someone that is wanting to diversify because they want to in changing that barn, and that's great. But
and they brought the M25 through, which took 14 acres, and so all the way round bits and pieces have been taken. We do mixed farming, as we said, so we've got about 250 acres of arable, and we have a dairy herd. Now that's a balance that we can actually keep the dairy herd and also have the arable, and the cash is needed from both sides, and that's the balance of it. Now take away something like a fifth of our arable land and bring us down to say 200 acres is going to make it extremely difficult to keep the balance between that. And once the balance goes, then the whole enterprise goes. So that's why we feel so strongly about the various people who think it would be a good idea to build a school on 40 acres over there. So we feel we have to fight as hard as we can to keep the balance between dairy and arable.
Back in the 1950s, we had a field compulsorily purchased in Mill End, and they built a school there called William Penn, and it was a school for quite a few years. And then the story was that there weren't enough children around here to fill the school up, so they closed it. they built I think the school was only operating for
20 years?
25 years or so. When did they knock it down?
80s.
What?
The 80s.
Anyway,
35.
they decided to knock it down, build on the playing fields, and on a little bit of adjoining land that was there. So anyway, that was the. But now it seems they want.
A lot more children then came to those families.
They want a school
and
here
populated
again,
children.
and I've no doubt in due course the children will disappear and go somewhere else. So they'll knock it down again, build on it again. But anyway.
We do feel pretty cynical about it, to be frank. It could quite well go on repetitively, I think, because people who are able to make a quick buck will do so.
Some dill, parsley, and that's just plain sorrel in there as well, which has got a bit of a tangy flavour, so we're tasting a little bit of tang, that's your sorrel.